An ostracized hooligan wants to be the best he can be, so he goes to the toughest school. But there he learns something else: the ability to protect. Let's talk about this manga, shall we? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zay, and saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing good and hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast. You can find it at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Bluesky, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKEN and guarantee you find us one way or the other. And to top it off, if you're watching us on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, click on that bell for notification. And if you want to help us out, check out our GoFundMe at gofundme.com/@Spiraken or tinyurl.com/Spiraken to find out more. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's actually get to it, because if you remember for that last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga, and it dictated to be reviewing a manga that's one I didn't expect it to be, and we're talking about Windbreaker. Now, this manga is a manga written by Satoru Nii, and it is the story of a young man who wants to go to the toughest school because he wants to be the toughest guy possible. And this takes place in the small prefecture of Mokochi in near the Tonpu shopping street, where tons of people live, a bunch of hooligans live, but it's rumored that there's a school there which is the worst of the worst, where only the toughest kids go. And our main character's gone there to be the toughest that he can be, because he feels like that's the only way he can make himself feel good about himself, because there are things going on. But let's get to that in a moment, because as you go to this prefecture, there's something kind of interesting. There's a sign outside of it which says, anyone past this point who causes pain, who brings destruction, who holds evil in their heart will be purged by Bufurin without exception. And this was a sign that was erected by the strong in order to show you do not mess around in this prefecture. And our main character is Sakura Haruka, who is a young man who, like I said, he is someone who feels like no one likes him, his life kind of sucks, and he's come to this prefecture to go to the new school, the Furin High School, which is reputed to be the worst school in the entire country, the most tough and angry, and he's going to kick butt there. Why is this? Because he feels that's the only option he has, because honestly, everyone thinks he's a hooligan, so why doesn't he be the best hooligan he is? He thinks with his fist first, then with his mind. But he's kind of a little bit of a softie, because as he's entering this place to learn about what's going on, wearing his new school uniform that he's really excited about, he ends up seeing a girl getting harassed. And he's like, what the hell is this? Why are you picking on her? And he actually does the right thing, because these guys are harassing this girl. And he proceeds to beat the crap out of the hooligans who are bothering this girl. And turns out this girl's kind of a mover and shaker in this neighborhood. And she's kind of shocked that he saved her life. He's like, wow, that's pretty cool. And he, are you hungry? Let me repay you. And she ends up taking him into her store, which is Cafe Potes. And she introduced herself as Kotoru Tachibana. And she is someone who is super nice and thankful to him, wants to reward him for what he is. And she kind of gives him a lowdown about the area, because he's kind of shocked that she's being nice to him. It's like, what's this about? Most people don't give me the time of day. And she's kind of confused by the fact that he has one contact that is yellow and he has a white patch of hair. Turns out that that's actually natural. He's naturally heterochromic, which a lot of people get turned off by when you see someone who has two different color eyes and two different color hair. But she ends up learning a little bit about him, and he's gone there to be the baddest guy in Furin High School and to be the king there, and no one's gonna mess with him. And she's like, he's a really pretty tough guy. But then we see he's not just a tough guy. He's actually, like I said, a bit of a softie. There's an old man who forgets some stuff at a table, and this tough, I don't need nobody, leave me alone, I'm a jerk, ends up giving the guy back his stuff. And the guy thanks him, and he's like, why? Wait, I don't get it. You're supposed to be like running away. I mean, last time this happened, I was trying to give someone back their wallet, and they said, you're trying to rob me. He didn't even count to make sure it was right. So he's really confused as to why someone's being nice to him. And Tachibana-san pretty much she doesn't tell him exactly, but she's like, listen, it's pretty cool that you want to be the toughest and strongest there is in the rule of the school, but you're not going to do it because you're alone. It's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just a dumb girl. And he ends up walking off. Only problem, though, is he has a little situation because earlier, remember he saved Tachibana-san from a bunch of hooligans? Well, like most cowards, if you get beaten up, you're going to run away, but then you're going to come back. And they come back with a ton of reinforcements who are going to kick the crap out of him just for being who he is. And he's like, you know what? This place is weird, but you know what? This is what I know. I know how to fight, and I am going to make sure that this is the way to do it because this is the way to resolve things. People don't like people. People just like to fight. And the toughest person, the toughest, and anyone who's as weak as a sap. And he ends up getting into a fight with all of these hooligans who are kicking butt until Tachibana gets stuck again. She ends up going out there to kind of help him. And she gets held hostage. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, I gotta protect her. And he doesn't know why. He's like, why am I protecting this girl? I should just let her go. She's just a liability. But he's protecting her. And this leads to him even getting injured. And these guys are now gangpiling on him, beating up Haruka until he's saved by another member of Furin High School. A group shows up to save the day. And everybody is cheering these people. Not the hooligans, but the town is. And we find the truth after an awesome fight sequence. Turns out that Furin High School is a school that has become dedicated in the last 2 years to protect this town. Yes, they are the baddest. Yes, they are the most kick-ass, but they protect this town. They protect it. They do outreach. They are super beloved in this town. And Sakuro's like completely confused by this as these guys are being lauded and applauded and people are treating them so good. It's like, what the hell's going on? Why are they not yelling at you? Why are they treating them good? He doesn't understand. And eventually, Tachibana explains they're loved because they protect the community, because they're a part of the community, and that's why. And he's even more confused when people are actually saying, you did a good job protecting that girl, protecting that shop. Good job. You got cut. Let me fix that. He's like, get away from me. Stop touching me. And he doesn't get that these people actually are being nice. And eventually, like I said, it's explained that 2 years ago, this tradition started. They put up the sign and they protect this neighborhood like a bunch of superheroes. And at first, he's kind of like, I don't know, this sounds so dumb. But then he puts two and two together and realizes it's actually really cool. So he decides, I'm still going to become the top. I'm going to be the one who's going to be the number one and kick ass. And this is his introduction into Furin High School and him becoming the greatest hero of all time in this school by rising to the top. And from here, it gets interesting and weird and strange because they took the concept of most series, which is it's the toughest school ever and they all kick ass, they take names and they're just the best they can be and they do all their stuff too. This is someone who does not want to be anybody. He does not want any attention, but he's end up learning that there is positive attention from being the way he is. The next chapter after that first chapter, when he finally admits, I'm going to be the best, is he's walking to school and people are being nice to him. They're giving him stuff saying, we saw you kick those guys' ass yesterday. Here, have a free bread. Here, have a Band-Aid. Here, have some free curry bread. Here, eat some ramen bread. And he's like, what the hell's going on? They're actually like, they're celebrities in the town. And then eventually he makes some friends. We get his sidekicks introduced. We learn more about some of the other characters who there are a bunch of different ones. There is the leader of the school we don't really meet, who's a third year. We have his rival character who kind of likes Tachibana and doesn't want anyone to like him. Our main sidekick is the exposition guy. He's someone who he wants to be part of the school because he was weak and he got saved by a foreign high school member, and now he wants to be strong. And all these characters have reasons for what they're doing and they're all fleshed out, and I love that fact. I love the fact that this is a story about kind of redemption, but more importantly, we're getting this situation from the point of view of an outsider. This isn't the main character who's like, I started this and I'm going to be the best and I'm going to make a revolution like so many of these other worst high school stories ever. This is someone who comes in as an outsider and is witnessing this and he becomes changed by this. Like a good example is you look at Cromartie High School, which is a parody of this whole genre, which is similar to this, where it's like the stranger goes in, the weak bunny becomes the strongest bunny ever. This is not that, but it's that idea of the outsider comes in, but then this does something very different and original. I do like that a lot. The character design is well done, and more importantly, I love the backgrounds in this. The backgrounds are so well done, and also we have some great, phenomenal action sequences that look great. After reading this, I had to check out the anime, and I have to admit, it is so cool to see the fight sequences. They're dynamic, they're well done, but more importantly, in the manga, it shows how good the fights are. And I love that. I love how the fights are, and I love the different characters in this. Our main boy, like I said, he's something different. And that's always the case is you have a main character who is always an outlier, who's someone who just isn't there. And that's one of the better parts of a series when you have a character who is so different from the rest of the group, but he stands out, but he doesn't take away from the other characters. Like he stands out enough, but he does assimilate well with the other characters. We do have them all fitting in. Like we have the one character who is named Sue, who becomes his other right hand, who is someone who has a eye patch on. He's kind of chumbuyi, not too much, just a little bit, but he's that fits in well. And the story just it fits so well. It fits for what it is. The title is kind of weird, Windbreaker. It's because it translates to what they're called, the Bufurin is windbreakers. But like I said, the story is great and the art is well done. Now, what are some negatives about it? Well, not too many negatives. It is the same old tropes. That's one thing I'll say. There are a lot of this is very paint by numbers. It's very okay. Here's this character that's going to be introduced. He's going to probably have this stereotype, or this character is going to be like this. You could tell that. And our main character being Sundari, yeah, is a little much, but overall the story works. And the story is fun, and the story is engaging, and more importantly, it's action-packed and makes you want to read more about it. It's been a while since I've read a good shonen school series where it's about fighting and it works. It's not just turn off like Ring by the creator Toriko. That series bothered me because it just the made-up sport making no sense beside just the main character didn't fit. Just something was off about. This doesn't do that. This works so much better. And after going through all my reasonings and all my thoughts on this story, I had to give this, well, our second highest rating of Borrow from a Friend and Don't Return Unless Offered Pocky because it has memorable characters. You have the twist on the worst school trope that works so well. We have these action sequences and great background art, but it is by the numbers with some plot elements, which does dock it a little bit. It's still worth checking out. It's still worth reading, and it's worth having in a collection. But I wouldn't really pay for it. I say you borrow it. That's my thoughts on this. And honestly, what are your thoughts? Let me know. Email me personally at Zan, that's Xan at Spiraken.com, or you can tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts. Or sorry, Bluesky is me at Spiraken. I'm still getting used to saying Bluesky instead of tweet, but you know, we're going to get there. We've been doing it for so long. But yeah, email me, ZanSpiraken.com. Let me know your thoughts. And now with that in mind, let's actually get to the random question of the episode, which is going to be, why do you think this manga is so successful? What about this makes it so popular, makes it fit so well? Is it the fact that it is going to that old well of this is a high school worst student, worst school trope? Or is it that it's something different compared to all the isekais? What are your thoughts? Why do you think this manga is so successful? Leave a comment down below or email me your answer. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the next part, which is another fun part, which is the manga releases for the week. We've got some fun ones this week. So, for manga releases this week, we've got Boys Abyss Volume 8, Checkmate Volume 2, Elden Ring Volume 5, The Road to the Ardress. Then we have The Elf Sisters Can Wait for the Night, Volume 1. Gazing at the Star Next Door, Volume 4. Hitori Jimi, My Hero, Volume 15. Honiko Akibane's Bodyguards, Volume 1. Home Sweet Home, Volume 1. How Do We Relationship, Volume 12. I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess Betrothed, Volume 2. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 6, Stone Ocean, Part 8. This is, I believe, close to the end of the Stone Ocean story arc. Pretty cool. You had Karate Survivor in Another World, Volume 7. Lazy Dungeon Master, Volume 10. Magical Buffs, The Support Caster is Stronger Than He Realizes, Volume 2. Me and Roboko, Volume 14. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, Elma's Office Lady Diary, Volume 9. The Missing O, Volume 1. Otaku Elf, Volume 8. Precarious Woman Executive Miss Black General, Volume 11. The Summer You Were There, Volume 6. Suzume, Volume 3. Sword of the Demon Hunter Gijin Gintosu, the manga, Volume 6. Takashi from the Bike Room, Volume 1. Tenmaku Cinema, and this one actually got 3 released because this is a digital release. We got Volumes 1, 2, and 3 of the series. We've got Though I Am an Inept Villainess, Tales of the Butterfly Swapped with Rat story in the Master's Court, the novel, Volume 8. And then last and certainly not least, we have When the Villainess Seduces the Main Heroine, Volume 2. So these are the manga releases for the week. Which one are you most excited about? Let me know. Email me at zanspiraken.com. My top 5 for the week are going to be Honiko Akabane's Bodyguard, Volume 1. This one looks like it is going to be a unique story where it's going to be something different. We've got Home Sweet Home, Volume 1. I've heard a little bit about this story, but it looks good. The Missing O, Volume 1. That title just, I don't know, it just seems like it's going to be stupid. You have Takashi from the Bike Shop, Volume 1. This one I've heard a little bit of a buzz about. I'm going to check that out. And then Tenmaku Cinema, the story of a guy who wants to make movies, but he gets possessed by a dead director. This one I think is going to be a delight to see, but we have to wait and see how that goes. But before I go any further, thank each and every one of you for checking out this podcast. Every email I get, every comment I get, every new like, every new subscriber gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast. I love doing this, and I want to keep going until I'm an old man who has to read manga with thick glasses. So thank each and every one of you. Now, before we go any one last thing beforehand, remember we are doing our GoFundMe at tinyurl.com/Spiraken, where we're trying to raise some funds so I can fix my laptop, which I use to do panels at conventions and edit on the side when I'm not just at home. My motherboard died and I need to replace it. We're trying to raise some money, and we've gotten a couple of great donations so far. Thank you, Alexander H, and thank you to our anonymous donor. Currently, we've had a couple other anonymous donors. Thank you so much. We're currently a third of the way there. So let's keep going. Let's see what we can do here. Anything you can give, I'd appreciate it. Or if you just want to tell someone about it, that's awesome as well. If you want, here's the URL link. It's like I said, tinyurl.com/Spiraken, or you can scan the QR code if you're watching on YouTube and go to it. Let me know what you think. I know that it currently says the minimum is $25. Just put in, enter your own amount. $1 will just get you a thank you. $25, you get a bunch of really cool things, and you get to choose what manga I'm going to review in the next episode. And I've got a bunch of fun deleted and behind the scenes videos that have just come up, including one where it's just me showing how I edit the audio for the Audible files when I release them on our actual website, www.spiraken.com. So definitely check that out. I'm going to be also releasing a couple of other episodes. Also on our YouTube channel, we just released a trailer review. Check that out. And what else am I forgetting? Oh yeah, our book club officially is going on its way. We've got some great titles on there. And our book club for January was How to Lose the Time War. Our next book is going to be Apothecary Diaries, the light novel. That will be in February. Check out our Instagram to find out more details about that and our questions. But I know this is getting boring, so let's get to the part that you've all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I am talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, accept no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, that's the manga we're going to review the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 578. Or, sorry, 77. I'm excited to see what we're going to do. So let's spin and see, shall we? Number 9. So in the next episode, we're going to be reviewing a manga which just got a awesome deluxe edition, and one which I've been talking about reviewing for a while because I've talked about this at several conventions. We're talking about the long delayed and long on hiatus Vagabond. We're going to talk about the special edition, talk about the series itself, and more importantly, we'll talk about Musashi and all of that. But regardless, hope you enjoyed this episode. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. I'll see you later.